The Bad Batch, a group of highly modified and very well, highly trained clones, ready for anything to come back their way. You got Wrecker, the Brute. You got Hunter, the leader. You got Tech, the tech guy. And don't forget, you got Echo, and you also had, of course, the sniper, Crosshair. This was a really interesting team, a really interesting arc from the Clone Wars TV show, Season 7. And they decided to give us a TV show about the Bad Batch. And was it good? Was it bad? That is up to the viewer to decide. But in my opinion, and again, this is very much so an opinion, I did not personally prefer the Bad Batch. Hello guys and welcome back to Don's Little Hobbies, and in today's video, I am going to talk about what I would do if I was indeed going to be reworking the Bad Batch. What would I do? What would I change? How would I modify it to make a better show? A better story, in my opinion. So, that is what we are going to talk about in today's video. Now, I really did enjoy some of the episodes in Bad Batch. Some of the episodes in Bad Batch were great, were absolutely fantastic. And you know what? If those episodes were just a little bit more fleshed out, I think it would make a much better, cohesive story. Instead, one of the biggest problems I have with the Bad Batch is the fact... Okay, so I wrote a lot here. I have a lot of ideas on how to rewrite the Bad Batch and make it better. However, if I read the entire page, I would probably end up making this like a 3, 4, 5 part video. I don't want to do that. I want to get this entire thing into one video, so I'm just going to try to sum up what I wrote here to you guys, so and get you guys' feedback. Hopefully you will pause the video and read it for yourselves, and hopefully you will enjoy my thoughts and ideas, because I go into great detail of what I would do with like Omega. I would have her less with Hunter and more with the entire group. I would have more screen time for Echo. I would give Echo some character. I would give Wrecker some more time. I would focus more on probably Wrecker's microchip problem. I go into great detail within what I wrote here, so hopefully you guys pause the video and read it for yourselves. I hope you guys do like at least my basic ideas of what I would do if I was going to change anything about the Bad Batch. But let's go ahead and try my best to sum it all up into one video, shall we? Okay, Act 2, or Arc 2, The Hunt is On, is pretty much self-explanatory. While the team starts on missions, they even start training Omega, and Crosshair is on their tail every episode to catch them. The second arc, we could get them going on a mission and meeting Harrison Jula, and that is this 3-episode arc with Crosshair right on their tail the entire time. Little do they know someone else is following them, as well as a bounty hunter throughout Arc 2. Return has some problems with his head. Wrecker. Oh boy. Wrecker has some problems with his head, always holding it and almost messing up his blaster. Something is going on with him, but he doesn't want the team to worry. Echo is the only one that notices anything. Episode 5, 6, and 7 this arc would be. Yes, and I would say the one that would notice that Wrecker, anything is going on with Wrecker, wouldn't be Hunter, wouldn't be Omega, but let's give none other than, Echo something to do throughout this episode, throughout this arc. Give him some connection with Wrecker. Let's have them be a little bit of brothers in this. I think that's what I would do with arc 2. And that could be all done and we could still have the Harrison Dula stuff. Okay. Arc 3. The chip takes over. Echo confronts Wrecker about this, and he says it's nothing. They go on another basics supply run motion with mission when all hell breaks loose, and the chip takes over Wrecker. The team tries their best, but then Crosshair shows up again. Wrecker then comes forward and says, "Good soldiers follow orders. Good, you've come to your senses. Go get our siblings," is what something Wrecker would do. So in this, basically, I would have Crosshair and Wrecker team up and try to defeat the Bad Batch again. Within the very first episode, Wrecker would have something go on with his chip in this arc, and then the next episode, it would end. The first episode would end with Wrecker meeting up with Crosshair. The second episode would be Crosshair and Wrecker trying to get rid of the Bad Batch, only for them to group together at the end and decide on what to do with Wrecker, and eventually they would, of course, save him. That's how I would have done that arc. Now, the fourth arc to me, Omega gets captured. So, I love everything that they did with the Omega being captured by the notorious bounty hunter Cad Bane. I love the fact that they brought Cad Bane back. I love the episode. I loved how that episode went. We had Wrecker, training Omega. We had Crosshair on their tail. The team was split up, and then it came down to just Omega and Hunter, where Cad Bane shows up, and Cad Bane and Hunter square off. Hunter loses, and Cad Bane captures Omega. Now, I don't like what happened next. What happened next was way too easy. Omega just figures a way out on her own, basically. And I would use some of that, but I would do it differently. So I would still have Omega, try to figure out a way out of the clutches of Cad Bane and everything, a way to contact the group, but I would have her be recaptured, and I would have the Bad Batch, the entire team, go after Cad Bane, and only together, with the very tiniest bit of luck, tiny hair, they would ever have a chance to saving her from the notorious hunter Cad Bane. I would not have even done that one character from Mandalorian in this. Like, she plays no role in this. She is just there for a cameo. I don't feel like she really plays any role in this. So, I like her because of Mandalorian. I can't wait to see her in Boba Fett, but she played no point in this. She only helped Omega get away, and, like, I'd rather have the team trying to save Omega, and I would like to see the team work together as brothers Because here's the thing, Cad Bane, yes, Cad Bane took out Hunter, but Hunter was alone. Hunter only had Omega, which, at this point couldn't be much help. I think the team working together, Hunter, Echo, Wrecker, and Tech, the team working together could have saved Omega. And this would have been far better than Omega finding her way, wiggling her way out of the clutches of Cad Bane through the distraction that was given by the other character from Mandalorian, which I can't remember her name, my apologies, but I'll put it here, of course. Okay, and that's basically how that arc would go. Omega being captured, at least, Plus, there was also that episode with the Sare. And of course, I wrote this down. If you can't see, I actually did write this down. You guys can if you want to, because I didn't go into it too much. You guys can, if you want to, pause the video and read this yourselves if you want to. Because I did write a lot, but there's only so much time I have in these videos to talk about this. Okay, let's go to the final arc. The final arc, to me, is the most disappointing arc when it comes to what happened with the Bad Batch. I really wanted to see. This is the show about, clones. And their home is in trouble. I want them to go back to Kamino. I want them to try to fight for their home. And of course they would fail, but I want to see the clone uprising against the Empire. That could have been so good to end this season off. We could still have the Crosshair stuff. I would have Crosshair throughout this entire show, not just make some small appearances here and there. I would have him be a main character, not a side character in the show, if that makes sense. And we could still have all that Crosshair stuff at the end with him saying, I took out my chip, but I made my decision. I like that. I like the fact that he took out his chip, but he makes the decision to stay with the Empire because that's what he believes in. I like that. I do like that. However, then we get that the whole thing explodes, and the last episode is so underwhelming. That's the biggest thing. The entire season of Bad Batch was so underwhelming. I think what could have fixed this is really we get the Kamino uprising. That would have been great. That would have been great. And I mean, we had this filler episode where, Sid's place was taken over. I actually liked that episode. It's not my favorite episode, and it's complete filler. But if you use that as a start to an arc, talking about the fact that their home was, basically taken over once again, and they won't let it fall this time, so they helped Sid out, and then after helping Sid out, they make the choice to go and take over Kamino again, but then Rex calls them needing help to save Wolf or something like that. I like that as a start of an arc. That could have been great. It just needed to be better, and the last episode of the season, to me, should not have ended the way that it did. It should not have. It should have ended with hope in their eyes. They lost their home, but they haven't lost this fight. I don't get that at the end of Bad Batch. To me, if you do, that's great, but I don't get that. And then right after the Kamino stuff and all the Crosshair stuff, I would announce season 2 in of which will build up to the Crimson Dawn's involvement. Something else I didn't talk about is I think it would be really cool if Sid, of all people, if Sid was working for the Crimson Dawn the entire time, making the Bad Batch working for the Crimson Dawn the entire time, and they don't know, and they could have built up to the Crimson Dawn this entire time, and they didn't do that. That's one of my biggest issues with season 1 and with the Bad Batch. Literally, the Pike Syndicate just show up in that filler episode and they leave it off. Like, I understand that we're getting a season 2, but this is not the way you should have written a season with all of these one-off episodes and everything. To me, the biggest problem that they had is just that they didn't do arcs. They didn't flesh out certain moments of the show. Like, because there's a lot of good moments in the show with, Wrecker dealing with the chip, and then their home being taken over again. And something that could have been interesting is they could have tried to go and save the senator, right? What if instead of Hunter having a problem with the senator because it was a separatist senator, what if it was Echo, giving Echo more character development as well? I think that could have been better. There's so many things. There's so many things that they could have done better with the Bad Batch, and this is how basically I would rewrite it. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. And yeah, that is the end of part 2 of my rewrite for the Bad Batch. Let me know if you guys watched this video before part 1. Here's a link to it, obviously. Go and watch that. Hopefully you saw that before you saw this, but if you didn't, well, there you go. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts about the Bad Batch in the comments below and anything I had to talk about within these last 2 videos. Thank you guys for watching, and I am out. Bye.